Right now, we're going to show you how to remove your rear wheel if you're out riding and it turns out you can't plug your tubeless tire, you need to throw a tube in. What you're going to do if you're on the trail, you don't have a bike stand, first thing you're going to do is shift into your smallest gear in the back. So that's this gear down here. You can see I'm not quite there. Let's get down there. There we go. So now I'm in the smallest gear in the back. This is also called the high gear. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my bike upside down. Before I do that, I'm going to make sure there's nothing on my bars. So if I have a cycling computer or a light, I'm going to go ahead and take that off. And then I'm going to grab the frame and the fork and just flip it towards me like this. Another thing you're going to want to do is make sure your dropper post is all the way elevated if you do have a dropper post. And that'll just keep it level. Yeah. Okay, so next, what we're going to do is if you have a SRAM derailleur, you may have a lockout button. And to use the lockout button, you're going to pull up and then push in the button and then let go of your cage. Now that's going to keep your cage open. If you have a Shimano derailleur, you're going to have a clutch, and that is just a little lever that you're going to turn to the off position. But for this demonstration, we've got our SRAM, we've got our lockout on. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the axle. So remember, we're upside down now, so the righty-tighty doesn't quite work, but we're going to go ahead and loosen it. We're going to pull out. And then here, I'm going to move the derailleur out of the way to lift the wheel out. Now, before I do that, I'm actually going to show you if I didn't have a lockout and my bike was like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that cage and I'm going to physically move my derailleur out of the way. Luckily, I have that lockout, which makes it a lot easier to move it out of the way. And then I'm going to lift straight up. And I've got my wheel out. Now we've replaced the tube. We've got a tube in here. We're ready to put the wheel back in. Now this part can be a little bit more complicated, but I'm going to walk you through it. So what we're doing is, remember we had the chain in the smallest cog? We want to line the top of the chain, which it looks like at the bottom because our bike is upside down, but we want to line this chain up with that small cog. So I'm going to set this in between the two chains, and then I'm going to try and line that up with that first cog. Now once I've got that lined up and I've got it working down into the frame, I'm now going to switch to the other side and line up my rotor with the brake pads. So as I work that in, there we go. It's seated in there. You can see over here I've got this on the smallest cog. And now I can put my thru axle back in. Now, once we have this in, we're going to snug it up nice and tight. There is a torque rating on your axle. This one says 15 newton meters. This is not a torque wrench. So we'll want to put a torque wrench on it when we're done, but I'm going to make it nice and snug. 15 is pretty tight. Now we'll come back over here and we can release our clutch, our lockout, and now we're good. Pedal to get it reset. And now you've removed and replaced your rear wheel. Your fingers should be dirty.